Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Get Smart AI Tools Essentials for Event Planning webinar. My name is Brooke Gracie. I'm the Director of Demand Generation here at Cvent. And before we get started, I just want to go over a few housekeeping items. On the right side of your screen, you can join the chat. We love it when people join the chat, so please join in on the conversation. You can also submit questions in the Q&A. We're going to leave plenty of time at the end to answer some of your burning questions, so please make sure you submit those. And because this deck is packed full of valuable information, if you want to download it and save this deck for later, you can click resources on the right. And as we get started, I want us to first introduce our amazing speakers we have here. We're joined by Haley and Una. Haley, it's so good to see you again. I love doing these AI presentations with you. Can you just do a quick introduction of yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Love to be here. Thank you for having me back. I love talking about all things AI. So I am Haley Contagiacomo. I am the Chief Innovation Officer at Huddle Agency. We are a third-party event management agency. So we really specialize in technology and event technology so that we can create efficiencies, and then we can really focus on the event planning, things that matter for our clients, like strategy, sustainability.
I love it. You bring such great insights to this conversation. Can't wait to hear what you have to say. And then we also have Una, my new favorite Cvent marketer here, to talk all about AI. Hi, Una. Can you do a quick introduction as well?
Absolutely. Hello, I'm Una Hughes. I'm part of the event marketing team at Cvent. So my role primarily involves working on Cvent Connect Europe, Cvent Connect US, and any of our tier 1 trade shows. So if you've received an email about one of these events, there's a good chance that I wrote it. I've been at Cvent for over a year now, and I love working here. It's fantastic.
I love that. Love to hear it. And I want to start this conversation by kind of grounding us in talking about the current state of AI and maybe some of the challenges that we're seeing. And then we're going to hear from Haley and Una about specific tools that they are using during the entire event lifecycle. And this content is for all of you. Some of you may just be starting to explore AI, but some of you may be looking to take your AI experience to the next level. This content is going to be for all of you. But first, we really need to understand what is AI and what are some of the key considerations when incorporating something like AI into our tech stack. Because we know artificial intelligence has made such remarkable progress in the recent years. We've seen advancements in machine learning and deep learning and natural language processing, and AI has become this sophisticated and very capable tool, really more than ever before. Really grounds itself in being able to analyze massive amounts of data very quickly, and it's learning from patterns and thus making intelligent decisions. And we see it being integrated in so many different sectors, right? We see it in healthcare, in finance, in transportation, customer service, and of course, event planning. Those AI-powered virtual assistants are becoming so prevalent, and it's helping us with tasks and making us more efficient. However, it is so important to note that AI is still a rapidly evolving field. We are probably only scratching the surface here. It has achieved some remarkable milestones, but there are some challenges that we still need to overcome. Things like ethical considerations, biases in AI algorithms, ensuring transparency and accountability. These are all areas where we need to require ongoing attention and improvement. And as AI continues to advance, there is this growing need for interdisciplinary collaboration, which is probably why you're here right now. AI has this immense potential, and as we navigate this ever-evolving landscape of AI, we really need to embrace this technology responsibly, making sure that it's being used ethically and maximizing its positive impact on society. But we live in an age where AI is transforming industries. It's really revolutionizing the way that we live and we work. However, with that immense potential of AI, there comes this risk almost of over-promising and maybe under-delivering. And we've seen this. It's kind of like this bubble has burst a little bit on the scene, and it's resulted in some skepticism, maybe even kind of sense of disappointment among some. So it's really important to acknowledge that AI It's not a magical solution that's going to solve all of our problems overnight. It is a powerful tool, however, but it has some limitations. And maybe because of the media and all the public perception of AI capabilities, it's maybe seemed a bit exaggerated at times, and it's leading to this inflation of expectations. But there's so much to learn. There's so much to discover, and it's just important that we're setting realistic expectations and focusing on the practical applications of AI, the stuff that's really going to make the difference. So let's not get discouraged by this kind of perceived bubble burst. Let's use this as an opportunity to have that more balanced and informed perspective, which is what we're hoping this conversation is going to help today. You're going to understand the true capabilities and limitations of AI and how we can harness its potential to bring those meaningful and impactful changes to our business. We need to embrace it responsibly, right? And there's a lot of discussion out there around AI and job security. And it's really crucial to understand that AI is not going to cause you to lose your job. However, as companies continuously strive for that efficiency and that cost optimization, it is going to be essential to be aware of that changing landscape, and we're going to need to adapt accordingly. There's awesome potential here. I'm sure all of us speakers on this webinar understand that being the person fluent in AI tools can be a very significant advantage. AI has the potential to automate repetitive and mundane tasks. You can spend more time on those critical thinking or problem solving skills. And by embracing AI, you just become more efficient. But you have to kind of stay up to date with the latest and greatest, right? Which is really hard. But once you find your kind of rhythm with that, you can really start to drive innovation within your organization. And another hot topic we hear about a lot is data security too. And it's a very valid concern when it comes to AI, because again, AI is just looking at tons of data super, super fast, but we need to make sure that there are robust data protection measures. Organizations need to prioritize data security and make sure that we're adopting some stringent protocols around that. And we see this conversation expanding, right? Regulations, ethical frameworks are being developed and addressed. Governments and industry bodies are actively working on policies so that we can safeguard our data privacy and ensure the responsible use. But here's the thing, the bottom line is your peers are using AI to help them do their job better than ever. Did you know that 63% of event planners are already harnessing the power of AI to help them organize events? That's right, more than half of these professionals are leveraging AI technology to streamline their processes and enhance their efficiency. But the impact of AI goes on beyond just event planning. Research estimates that AI is going to create a whopping 97 million jobs. Mind blown, right? Like that is significant. And 60% of our business owners believe that it's going to have a positive impact on their customer relationships. They know that AI can analyze vast amounts of data and provide truly personalized experiences because businesses now understand their customers' needs and their preferences so much deeper. And they also recognize that AI has the potential to increase productivity. Over 60% of them actually believe that AI technology is going to streamline processes and free up really valuable time for their employees. So the adoption of AI is already transforming various industries. So let's rally around this together. Let's embrace this technology, explore its capabilities, and then unlock its full potential. So the question on everyone's mind right now, right, is great, Brooke, but how? Well, firstly, we can use AI to help with the venue and vendor sourcing and to make it easier than ever before. There are advanced recommendation systems where AI is analyzing your preferences and your budgets, looking at your past event data, and it's suggesting the perfect venue option back to you. It's also helping us to create efficiencies when we're actually building events or promoting events, in Una's case, right? It automated tasks like budgeting, like scheduling, attendee registration, and it's centralizing all aspects of event planning and making it really seamless and kind of hassle-free, which is so great for us, right? But then lastly, AI really helps to elevate the attendee experience as well. Personalized attendee recommendations, making sure that they are getting that tailored experience. What sessions should they go to? What networking opportunities do they have? Who should they be talking to? All of this kind of powered through that AI. So it's really a game changer in event planning and execution. Before we jump into these categories in a little bit more detail, where Haley and Una are going to tell us specific tools that they're using, I want to leave you with just one additional best practice. We know AI is moving quick, and staying up to date on the tools and the efficiencies is daunting. There's just so much information out there, right? I'm going to give you a little tip, little trick that I've learned, which is the best way to stay on top of AI is to find your community. So we're going to go ahead and drop the links to our LinkedIn profiles for each of the speakers here today. And I'm going to recommend that you follow us. I personally try to post a couple times a week with tips or tricks or interesting articles about using AI for event marketing and execution. And we have to learn from one another. So I would love to hear from you. Find your people on social platforms like LinkedIn, and just use it to help you, keep ahead of the game. So we hope that you connect with us, keep the conversation going. And with that, we're going to jump into each of these categories a little bit more, starting with venue and vendor sourcing. And Una, I'm going to kick it over to you to tell us a little bit about how you're using AI to help you find the perfect venue for your event.
Absolutely. We all know finding the right venue and vendors for an event is a time-consuming process, but it's crucial to your event success. With lengthy research and RFC processes, plus multiple stakeholders weighing in, you might feel like your productivity is flagging. So the Cvent Vendor Marketplace AI matching technology pairs you with best fit vendors based on geography, group size, event dates, target audience, and other user preferences, taking away that manual effort typically required to source and fine-tune a curated vendor list. Let's say you're hosting an event in your city, but you don't have enough time to reach out to production or swag companies. Instead, you could use the Cvent Vendor Marketplace to generate custom RFPs detailing each of your requirements. And Haley now has some information on other supporting products that you could use alongside it.
Thanks, Una. Yeah, I thought I'd talk about some supporting products. Like, we know that the Cvent supplier network and the vendor marketplace is a great place to start. What I do, so I've been a planner for 15 years. Venue sourcing always takes me the most amount of time. And as Brooke said, the great use about AI is it frees up your time. So some of the ways that I think AI can really benefit in that way is helping you understand a whole lot of information, helping you do the research, analyzing the information that's coming through, and then really suggesting some ideas that are going to help with your venue source, whether it's a particular hotel or a destination as well. So for me, I find AI amazing in 3 particular use cases. Tell me the information about a destination. What's popular? What should I look at? Where's a really good place to take a group? And then I use the Cvent Supply Network to drill down in terms of which hotel is really good for my group. I also use it to tell me what's safe. Where should I take a group? Maybe I know a particular country, but I don't necessarily know a particular city. Tell me some pros and cons, some crime statistics about that destination so I can really make an informed decision. And then finally, the thing that I always find with venue sourcing is I will research a destination, but I want to save that information. Like, where can I go to retain all of this information that I've already done in the past? Help me understand what I've already done previously so I don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. So I'm going to talk about a couple of products that I use, especially when it comes to venue sourcing. And the great thing is there's some products out there that have existed for years, but now they've really been enhanced with the use of AI. One of those products is Mabrian. You might have known it. It's great in the tourism industry. It analyzes a huge range of information about particular destinations. So you can know what's a really good place to take a group, what's not a really good place to take a group. It analyzes data from the web. It analyzes information from social media, what's been shared in terms of images and videos, what's a pro, what's a con, what's a really good destination that you should start to think about. And then it also goes into the next level in terms of analyzing weather trends. What's a really good place to take a group in October that's going to be really nice and warm? What's a good group in January when typically it's really cold? Where should I go? So now with the use of AI, it analyzes a huge amount of data for everybody in a couple of minutes. Another one that I spoke about is risk management. I think personally risk management is huge when it comes to venue sourcing. Where should I take a group? Where should I not take a group? I know Los Angeles is a really nice city to take a group, but there's some areas that you probably don't want to place a group. So it's going to start to give you heat maps in terms of where's the crime, where should you typically avoid, so that you can really make some really informed decisions without doing too much research. On top of all of that, one thing that I absolutely love, which is a product that I've talked about before, it's called Sana AI. It is a product that, first of all, can analyze websites. Give me a summary of this website that I'm on so that you can get a really good glimpse without having to read pages and pages of information. It can also take all of the information that you've collated with all of your venue sources and all of your destinations and summarize it for you. You can then ask your chatbot within a product like Asana AI, find me information that I've already researched on a destination that would be great for a group with X requirements. So again, you're not going to have to reinvent the wheel. It stores it all for you. It categorizes that information for the next time that you do a venue source. So AI is so helpful, but it really is just the beginning. Brooke, I think you're going to chat about the possibilities of maybe where this can go.
Yeah, for sure, because you can really start to see the dream realized here, right? If we start to incorporate AI into our entire venue sourcing and negotiation process, the efficiencies just compound on each other, giving us so much more time back for our strategic activities. So you're starting with this advanced recommendation system, right? Where AI is analyzing user preferences, looking at past events, all this super relevant data that you have at your fingertips. You are likely sitting on a gold mine of data, which is AI's bread and butter. So use it to help with that data-driven decision making. And then instead of getting on a plane and spending hours and days traveling, you could do a virtual venue tour. AI-powered virtual reality or augmented reality technologies are allowing you as planners to virtually explore venues from anywhere in the world. And then when you start to dig into the costs and the availability, AI can help with that too, right? With real-time availability and pricing. It's integrating with venue databases and updating availability and pricing in real time. And I think one of those key parts of this venue sourcing process is the negotiation as well. Sometimes it takes a long time. You're going back and forth, and AI can help with that too. It can assist in negotiating contracts and terms with venue providers, and it analyzes all this cool historical data that you have, and it looks at market trends and user preferences, and it optimizes your negotiations. And then we know you get the venue lockdown, but that's only half the battle, right? Using AI to streamline logistics as well, like transportation arrangements and floor plan designs and seating arrangements. This is all going to save us time and effort, which we can put forth to more higher, ROI activities and that more strategic work. Next up, I do want to dive into the efficiencies that you can find across the event life cycle as well using AI. And Una, I want to start with you again, because you have some interesting ways that you're using AI to help you with video.
Yeah, so I'd be amiss to not mention Cvent video tools, through which you can effortlessly create video descriptions, captions, and subtitles, which ensures that your content is accessible for everyone. Plus, you can also easily trim longer sessions into short ones, into shareable clips, perfect for repurposing that content. You could wrap up a day event and have a full set of content ready to be shared across social media, websites, or even turn it into monetized assets after an event. And Haley has even more tools that you can use.
Thanks, Una. Yeah, I thought while we're on the trend of efficiencies, especially within the Cvent realm, I thought I'd give a quick clip on one of the things that I use day to day. I am a Cvent site designer nerd. I am in it all the time. I'm always looking for new creative ways that we can do things. So this example here I have, it's honestly a simple chatbot. It's called Claude. It's similar to a ChatGPT, OpenAI, Gemini, which I know Una's going to talk about some more crazy things that you can do with these sorts of products later on. But for this particular example, all I was doing is I asked a chatbot, Claude, for some HTML in an accordion style FAQ look and feel with my colors of my site designer that I could then paste into the code widget. So previously for me, I kind of dabble in HTML, but honestly, I'm not that great at it. It takes me a little while, so it's an efficiency lost. With now the help of a chatbot, ChatGPT, Claude, I can simply ask it my question to create that HTML code for me, and then I can paste it into Cvent. So it really does create some efficiencies for me. You can then obviously go further and develop it more yourself in terms of what questions you want it to add in there, what answers, but as a starting place, it really does create those efficiencies for you. You'll see more from Una, as I mentioned, about OpenAI, but for now, let's look at some great marketing products powered by AI.
I think that HTML tip is so key. I struggle so much with HTML when I'm doing website builds, so such a top tip. I just wanted to talk kind of broadly about event marketing, as that's my bread and butter, with AI. So as event marketers, we juggle countless tasks, from crafting strategies to managing logistics and communications. And AI can help make these processes easier and more effective. So with tools like MailChimp and HubSpot, you can automate email campaigns, social posts, and timelines, which ensure consistent branding with minimal effort. By setting up these automated processes, you can hit every marketing milestone without manual tracking, which makes your life a lot easier. Equally, AI-driven tools like HoppyCopy, Copy AI, and Jasper AI can quickly generate high-quality marketing copy, emails, and social posts. These tools, specifically HoppyCopy, which you can see from that screenshot that I've got there, they are designed to help marketers. So you can see that you could create a newsletter, you can create email content, and you can give, specifically HoppyCopy, that's one I use a lot, but you can give it your brand tone that you want to use. And it's such a helpful tool. So they can help you create content faster while also keeping your messaging sharp and on brand. One thing that I do want to flag is, I'm sure everyone's heard it, but I think it's so important to reiterate it. When using AI to create content, please go in and check it. Don't just immediately use it, because while we are talking about AI and the importance of it, there is such a key element of the human aspect of communications. I open an email sometimes now and I can see that it's been written by AI within seconds, and I'm just not interested. It's just so important. I can't stress how important it is to check all the work. But you can also use AI for other things within event marketing. So tools like Trello or Monday.com can provide real-time updates. They can identify bottlenecks and suggest resource allocation to help keep everything running smoothly. They can also help you make data-driven decisions to optimize campaigns for the best ROI. Equally, I've just given you a vast amount of AI tools that you could use. So it can feel very overwhelming when picking the right tool. So I thought I'd give a quick breakdown of two kind of major platforms that most people use. So you've got ChatGPT or Google Gemini. And when it comes to picking the right AI for you, it's almost like picking the right music streaming service. So some people prefer Apple Music, some people prefer Spotify, some people prefer Deezer. There's so many options out there, and you kind of have to suck it and see what works for you. But in terms of ChatGPT and Google Gemini, ChatGPT excels in generating conversational content, so emails, session summaries. It integrates well with event marketing platforms. Whereas Google Gemini, it's hard to say, offers real-time insights and up-to-date information, as it's obviously fed by Google, which makes it ideal for adjusting strategies on the fly. While Gemini provides the latest data, ChatGPT delivers personalized conversational approaches, crucial to keeping attendees engaged. In short, AI automates routine tasks, streamlines content creation, and manages projects efficiently, freeing up your time to focus on what I'd like to think are the more important things, the creative aspects and the strategic elements that make your events stand out. And I know I've just given a vast amount of AI apps, but Hayley now has some even more useful tools for you.
Thanks, Ina. Yeah, I'll continue the trend of showing some ones that I love. And if anyone has come to another Cvent webinar that we have done on AI, you'll know there's a ton. I feel like I say so many different products that you can use, and it really depends what's going to work for you. So I've given a snapshot of some of the ones that I use day in, day out. However, it's not the same for everyone. I find personally the way that I like to find AI-powered tools is I look at the things that either it takes me the longest amount of time to do, what can help me be more efficient in the things that maybe I'm not so great at it, or what are the things that I already really love to do that it's going to be fun to actually spend some more time doing those certain tasks with the help of AI. They might give it to me in a different perspective, give me some ideas that I haven't previously thought about myself. So these are some of the ones that I personally use all the time. And honestly, the easiest way that I find AI-powered tools is to ask AI. I know we've kind of spoken about it before, all of the speakers on this session, but we have our chatbot up all day. We use it as a colleague. We ask it some questions. If I'm stuck on a particular task, I ask it, what's a really good tool powered by AI that's going to help me with X? Give me 5 examples and give me the reason why they're going to be really good for me. That's how I then start to look into the different tools and say, yeah, okay, maybe that one will work, maybe that one won't. But that is how I find most of my tools that I use day to day. So I'm going to give you a couple of my examples. Some of the ones that I use pre-event. As I said, I'm kind of a planning background. I moved into technology, but honestly, my love is event planning. So one of those products that I use is called Read AI. You might have seen it. It's relatively popular these days. There's also another similar one that's called Otter as well. It is a meeting management tool. A meetings tool. So when you attend a meeting, anything that's in your calendar, it's going to join as your colleague. It's going to take all of your notes. It's going to record your meetings. It's going to put everything into categories. We spoke about this and this was the details. Hayley spoke about this and this is her takeaway item. So at the end of the meeting, everybody that joined the call is going to get a transcript. They're going to get a recording of the meeting, and then they're going to get their takeaway items. If they mention they were going to do something, it's going to give it that as a task with your name as a follow-up item. So previously, for me, I'm on back-to-back meetings. I don't have time to write up my notes. Now, with the help of something like a Read AI, I just read it, I proof it. Like Una said, you always have to proof the work that's coming out of AI. I make sure it's correct, and that's my meeting minutes. It's so easy to do with the help of AI. Another one, I'll kind of go into the creative side, I guess, is DALL-E E3. We did an example of this on one of our sessions as well, but it's a really great tool if you want to create custom images for your site designer for Cvent. If you give it a prompt, like I'm looking for Central Park photos for a hero image in Cvent with these dimensions, with these criteria, it's going to provide you all different ideas for your images that you can then copy and put into your site designer. I know I'll speak about one of the products that I really like during event later in this session, but for now I'm going to talk about Post. Post is where I feel like it can really make some differences. Personally, I know as a planner, you work on your event for so long, you go on site, and then the minute you come back from your event, you're already thinking about the next event. It's really hard to wrap up the event that you've just done with the amount of time before your next one starts. So for me, I use tools like Ajalix. It is a program that you can upload all of your, let's say, survey results. It analyzes Excel and gives you real insights into the information that you're providing it. So for me, what I would do is upload my survey results from the event that I had. I might even upload the last 3 years' survey results for the same event. And then I ask it some questions. Give me some insights. Is the trend going upwards or downwards? What's people's thoughts? What are you starting to notice with the information that I'm receiving from my attendees? Give me those pieces of information on how I can make my next event better. I start by asking it questions, but then I also say, what am I forgetting? What other insights can you see that maybe that I didn't see myself? So it really gives it to you from a different perspective. So as I said, these are a couple of the ones that I use on a day-to-day. There are so many out there. I think you would also be surprised how many tools are powered by AI now. That's currently where we're at. But I think, Brooke, you're going to give us an insight into maybe a step further.
Yeah, for sure. And I have to imagine our audience is like, yes, these are the slides we needed. There's a lot of questions coming in about what tool did you guys say you were using? Here you have it written down right on the slides. Some really good recommendations here. And just as a reminder, if you guys want to come back to this deck later, you totally can. It's in the resources section right here in this platform where you're watching right now. And what's really great about all of what Una and Haley just shared with us is that, again, you're seeing this dream realized, right? The future of creating efficiencies across the entire event life cycle with AI is incredibly promising. It can be used with that intelligent event management platforms, right? Where we're streamlining the entire event life cycle. We're automating tasks like budgeting, like scheduling, all those meetings Haley's talking about, like, come on, right? Like using AI to help us manage those meetings and make sure that we're not spending too much time in areas where we shouldn't be. And then we're bringing AI into that attendee experience, which we're going to talk about a little bit more, where it can suggest sessions and networking opportunities and tailoring the content. Because we know if an attendee is getting a personalized experience, they're going to get more value out of their event. They're going to come back next year, and your ROI for your event is going to be higher. And then we also know that we can use AI for smart event analytics. It can analyze data very fast, and that is what we have in abundance. With all of the event tech that we're using, we're gathering super valuable data, attendee feedback, sentiment analysis, all of this, tracking data, and we can use AI to help us understand what that data all means, like Haley was talking about. Event chatbots is helping our attendee experience. Predictive analytics for event marketing, right? Looking at historical data, looking at marketing trends, predicting what our attendee behavior is going to be. This is going to help people like Una identify who should their target audience be. How can she optimize event marketing strategies? And it's going to help event organizers maximize attendee and then ultimately improve our overall ROI. Now, you don't have to wait until your event's over to do all of this, though, right? You have heard of some tools like Haley mentioned, is that there's real-time event monitoring as well, where you can look at crowd density, even environmental conditions, making sure to look at attendee safety, but also helping you to optimize resource allocations, address any issues right there at that moment. So overall, AI has this potential to create efficiencies across the entire event lifecycle. It's automating repetitive tasks, it's personalizing experience, providing valuable insights, and ultimately improving the overall event experience for not only the attendees, but also for you as the event planners or marketers or organizers. So I want to dig into this a little bit more, talking about how AI can help us improve that attendee experience. The opportunities are endless. And Una, I want to kick it over to you first to talk a little bit about how you're approaching AI with regards to your attendee experience.
Yeah, so specifically, I use OpenAI, which, as I mentioned earlier, it's what runs ChatGPT. It's kind of the OG AI platform. Most people have heard of it. But in terms of enhancing the attendee experience, it can be a great tool for event marketers. It allows you not only to create content for specific attendees or for a range of different attendee segments or personas, which ensures that they receive content relevant to their interests. This personalization, it boosts engagement and makes attendees feel the event is designed for them. It also allows you to turn one piece of content into a multifaceted document that fits the needs of multiple segments or verticals. Another way to use OpenAI would be during an event. So you could use it to analyze attendee data. For example, if certain sessions have low turnout, you can adjust by sending targeted push notifications or emails that AI can also create immediately for you to encourage participation. This real-time adjustment maximizes engagement and ensures that attendees get the most out of the event, which ultimately is the goal. You can even use custom GPTs, which is a slightly more advanced step within OpenAI, but it's a really fascinating one. So you can customize these GPTs to your event. So they can be designed to answer specific attendee questions, provide personalized session recommendations, or even offer content tailored to individual interests. So that ensures that every interaction feels unique and relevant, while also, again, enhancing overall experience. By leveraging AI, you can tailor communication and make data-driven adjustments almost immediately, which ensures more engaging and more engaged and personalized attendee experience. And to even further on from that point, Haley's going to talk to you about chatbots, which again, super great way of utilizing AI.
Yeah, I do love a good chatbot. I've put another example here. What I thought I would go through is some efficiencies. One of the ones that I love is utilizing the code snippet through Cvent. Really easy to do. Personally, we've always had a chatbot on our registration site so that as somebody's registering, if they had a question, they could come to us and ask it during their registration rather than having to pick up the phone. Maybe their registration time's out and they don't get the questions that they need to continue their registration, which causes some frustrations. So how to improve the attendee experience from the very beginning. Often registration sites are the first point of contact for all of your attendees about your event. You don't want them to be frustrated. So using a chatbot that is embedded into your registration site is a great way to do that. However, most of the time, and coming from a planner's point of view, you then have to sit there and monitor the chats. It can really create a lot of work. You always have to be there. You always have to be ready to take those questions, which can kind of be a bit disruptive to your day. So using a chatbot that's powered by AI can really go that next level. It's going to start to interpret users' queries. Previously, yes, you could have had some answers that were pre-designed. So if somebody asked this exact question, it's going to send them back a response. However, it's not that accurate. Or what if they don't ask that exact question? It's something similar, but not exactly that way. The chatbot's not going to understand it. But with AI, it's going to understand and interpret the person's question to give them more accurate responses. It's also going to learn from people's interactions with the registration site. From this example I have given here, it understands that this person has come on the registration site before and not been able to continue their registration. It's going to ask them, do you need some help? I can see that you have come on previously and not completed a registration. I'm here to help. What can I do to help you complete your registration? So it really starts to understand those interactions of those people registering on the Cvent site. And it's also going to start to learn all of your attendees. This person came to an event last year. They bought a guest. They're doing this year. So it's going to start to give tailored responses to all of your invitees. Another thing that it will also do is just answer all of your FAQs. You can give an AI-powered chatbot all of the information about your event, and it's going to provide that information to the attendees when they ask. Yes, you can use this on your Cvent registration sites, but you can also continue it into the on-site event as well. So it really does help the attendee experience. The other benefit as well is it's going to kind of analyze if a person's getting a little frustrated and it maybe should go to one of your planners that are managing the event, it's going to pass it on rather than getting that person even more frustrated that they can't finish their registration. So that's a great way pre-event. Let's move on to one of the ones that I love during the event. There's so many great ways to improve the attendee experience when they're already on site. One of the ones that I love is Snapsites. It is a product that will allow attendees when they're on site to see all of the information that's coming through from all of the sessions. We know that you can record sessions, you can watch it back in your own time when it's convenient for you. Sometimes you don't have that time. Sometimes you don't have time to watch an hour session just to find out the bits that maybe were relevant to you. So one of the products that I love that's powered by AI is called Snapsites. It is a product that will record all of your sessions and then transcribe it. Going a step further, it's going to then categorize everything into all of the discussion points that were included in the session into these little brain bubbles. So if there's something that's really relevant to you that you want to read about in a quick 5 to 10 minute document, it's really, really easy to do. So you can click on any of these items, read a little bit more about the event, and then you're really up to speed in what's relevant to you. The other thing that I love, which is what AI is amazing for, and I have a ton of other products if you're ever interested, but it is making certain sessions that were not previously accessible really accessible. So maybe English isn't your first language and it was a little hard to understand. You can now transcribe everything into a different language. So now you can read a session that previously you maybe not been able to understand. So it really does make all of your events so much more accessible. These are two of the products, but Brooke, I'm eager to hear from you in terms of where you think this can go.
Yeah, I love hearing how you're using this. And I really enjoy how you bring up accessibility here too. In this section, right, we're talking about attendee engagement and how we can create that engaging experience using AI technology. But we know that you're going to get engagement if the content is accessible for them. And accessibility means a lot of things, right? It means making sure it's in a language that they can use. It means, making sure there's closed captions or other things that are going to make sure that the entire audience can get the content that you're trying to give them. And again, we start to see this dream realized, right? If you start to piece together some of these AI technologies, you're going to see major improvements in the way that your attendees are experiencing your event. They're starting off with intelligent recommendations where AI can analyze their preferences and their interests and past event data and say, okay, Brooke, go to these sessions, go talk to these people. Here are the exhibitors that you need to spend your maybe limited amount of time at this event talking to. And right in my hands, I have my AI-powered event app. And it is giving me personalized agendas and real-time updates and interactive maps and again, networking suggestions, all of which is really helpful for me when I'm sitting there on site. You can even think about using voice-enabled assistant that can integrate into event venues, provide information, answer questions, assist attendees. A lot of what Haley's talking about, which is you get dropped into this event venue as an attendee in a sea of thousands of people, and you're like, where do I go? What do I do? And so having AI help assist them is super helpful. One thing that I see a lot of at events, I love geeking out on this, is the VR technology too, right? This is creating engagement at events. It's creating these immersive experiences for attendees. And what's really cool is we're seeing AI and VR kind of come together as one, so that we can use those AI insights, create a personalized VR experience for our attendees, which is going to be amazing for them to be able to engage a little bit more. I mean, you could use this for gamification, or maybe you have product demos. There's tons of opportunity here. And then, of course, you're getting that real-time feedback and that sentiment analysis. Maybe you're using some of these AI tools to help track what social media mentions you're getting, or the surveys, looking through all of that real-time feedback even during the event and telling you, here's how something you could adjust to make the event that's happening right here today even better. And those chatbots, right? Again, just helping the attendee, maybe even during the registration process, but also on site, like, how do I get to this room for the session I don't want to miss? It can really help to resolve issues efficiently. So overall, AI has the potential to transform the attendee experience. We see that. We need to be leveraging AI technologies so that we can be delivering more engaging, convenient, and memorable experiences for our attendees. And as we wrap up here, just a couple of things. First, make sure if you have any questions, go ahead and put that into the Q&A box. If you aren't sure what to ask, but you see a question that you particularly like, give it an upvote, because we're going to go to those questions first. And then Una, I know you have some key takeaways here. So before we wrap, I'm going to kick it over to you.
Yeah, definitely. So I thought it was apt for this webinar to ask AI to give me the top 5 takeaways. And these are the 5 that it gave me. So I can elaborate on those. So AI obviously revolutionizes the way that we handle logistics, from venue sourcing to vendor coordination, streamlining operations, and freeing up time to focus on what truly enhances that attendee engagement. By leveraging AI, we can ensure every participant's experience is uniquely tailored. So from personalizing session recommendations, as Brooke just mentioned, to targeting networking opportunities. AI helps us cater to individual preferences, enhancing satisfaction and, again, engagement. AI's real-time data capabilities allow us to make quicker, more informed decisions. This adaptability is crucial in maintaining the competitiveness and relevance of our events. AI is key in breaking down barriers, making our events more accessible and inclusive, whether language translation, I've got to the end of this and now I'm stumbling on my words, or customized content. AI ensures everyone can fully participate and benefit. I think it's so important to really, really finally highlight the potential of AI in event planning. It's truly boundless. By embracing AI technology, it not only positions us as industry leaders, but as also pioneers in creating dynamic, impactful events. Final thing, remember, AI is a tool that complements our skills and it enhances our capabilities. Its future in our industry, it's bright. It offers us unprecedented opportunities to innovate and excel. And as we adapt to these changes, there's nothing to fear about AI taking our jobs. Instead, it's an exciting call to evolve and grow.
Thank you, Una. Really great wrap up. You guys all learned something. We're going to move to Q&A here in just a minute. But before we do, I want to ask, who here wants to earn a $100 Amazon gift card? I know I have some things sitting in my Amazon cart that I would love to buy, right? So if you guys are interested in learning a little bit more about Cvent, sign up to complete a demo with us. We're going to pop the link in the chat here, and you could earn a $100 Amazon gift card if you sign up for that demo. And in the interest of being global, being accessible, if you do not live in the United States and you still want that gift card, we can convert it to any other currency available of your choosing. So yay. Okay, so this is the actual end of the presentation. If you guys stick around for Q&A and you have to jump, thank you for attending. We're gonna hit a few questions here. And just as a reminder again, if you guys want to remember all of these great tools we've been talking about, you have access to the deck. You can get it in the resources section right there. So let's get to our first question. And Haley, I think I'm gonna start with you here. Malcolm asked, they're not familiar with working with an AI system, but very curious about the data, right? And I know this comes up a lot. How do we teach AI what we need to by giving it a lot of our data to analyze without having to like copy, paste, type, and all of that kind of stuff? Is there an automated way to do this?
I know, I'm all for this. I have to admit, when I first started using AI, I was typing out things and giving it certain prompts. Often now, especially as they've kind of been developing, now that it's kind of been around for a little while, you can certainly upload documents. A lot of the time what I do now, rather than giving it cues or things, is I upload a document about the event, or I upload a document about the certain section that I'm talking about. I did one recently where we had to create kind of like a sporting tournament. Rather than writing out all of the steps, I uploaded where I was at in terms of a document, and I said, review the document, then ask me 10 questions that's going to help you give the answers that I need to this question. And then I would pose my question. So it then starts to analyze the document, give me some responses, rather than me having to first of all say what I really was looking for. So I really try to avoid doing that just constant typing, whether it is uploading a document, giving it a web link. Some will review web links, which is really convenient. Read this website, then tell me this. Products, I know I mentioned it at the start, like Sana.ai. If you're looking to get any information off a website, maybe it's your company website, maybe it's a website that you've created, it's going to start to analyze that website for you rather than you having to provide specific information around it. So that's definitely a quicker way that you can get some answers without having to do the manual typing.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we heard when we were in San Antonio doing a presentation on AI, Haley, I think we also heard that, like, you can just even ask AI, what do you need from me to help get the output that I'm looking for? Like, what are the 10 questions you want me to answer to help get the response that I need? And then even asking AI to fact check itself, because that's kind of the thing, right? Bad data in, bad data out. But if we can ask AI to start showing its work when it's doing some of this analyzing, it's going to help us make sure that we're getting really good results out of it.
Yeah,
so
definitely ask it for its work, because then you also know where you should cross-check it. Maybe it was really confident in one part and kind of made it up in the other part. That's the part that you really should then fact check it.
Yeah, and I know, Una, you mentioned this a bunch of times, but like, don't just take whatever AI spits out and copy and paste it and, put it into a deck or use the metrics or whatever. Like, it is helping us to get there, but there is a very serious need to have a balance between human and tech. We got to be putting our human element on it. The copying and pasting is like not going to work. I think maybe the first couple weeks AI, we were really talking about it. You'd see like blog posts that were clearly just copied from AI, but we can't do that anymore. So having that balance is super key.
Absolutely. I think that also leads into one of the other questions that someone asked, which was about AI hallucinating information, which it truly does. Like, I was recently using ChatGPT to help me with the attendee guides for Cvent Connect Europe, and I was asking it to pull suggested sessions from the agenda for specific personas. And it just created a load of random sessions that are not happening at Cvent Connect Europe, which was slightly concerning. So I think there is not a fix-all answer with that. I think we are always going to have issues. Well, perhaps not always, but right now there's always going to be that problem that the information it pulls in is not 100% reliable. I think something that's really key is, as Haley said, ask it to show you where it got that data from, because within the ChatGPT suddenly said, oh, I see an error here. Well, obviously you see an error. I've just highlighted it to you. And then it recalibrated and it was fine. And it gave me the suggested sessions. So I think asking AI to show you where it's pulled this information from is really important. And again, check. Just make sure it's not giving you lies.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously. I know, I think I mentioned it at the beginning, but like, AI is not magic, right? And so we just need to figure out what its limitations are and how we can use it. Because if you do that, it absolutely is going to bring value to your everyday work. But yeah, there's a lot of learning there. Yeah. I also see a question. Oh, go ahead, please. Continue.
I was going to just add to Una's point. One of the things that I found, especially at the start when I was looking for products, test them all. Like, there might be 5 chat products. you know, the ChatGPTs, the Geminis, the Claudes, you're going to find one that really does give you the answers that you're looking for over the others. So I used to get frustrated and I was like, oh my God, this is not what I'm looking for. It's not the way that I wanted to do it. And then I tried a different product and I was like, oh, this is so much more suited to me. So it's definitely not one fits all. That's saying,
Yeah.
Try them all and then see what works best for you.
Yeah. And I love, Haley, you always tell us to use AI to find AI. Go ask AI. Like, this is the problem I'm trying to solve. What are some tools that I should be looking at? And it makes it a whole lot easier. So kind of like this full circle, really. I know we only have a few minutes left, so I'm going to bring the top voted question to you guys. One of my favorites, we get it every single time, which is, okay, I'm new to this. I'm a little overwhelmed. You guys told me about like 100 AI products. Where do I even start? And I'm going to do my 30-second spiel Haley's heard over and over again, which is the easiest way to get started in AI is to go find AI in the tools that you already know and you already feel comfortable in. You saw Cvent, for example. If you're using Cvent for registration, there are AI functionalities built into Cvent in this environment where you already feel comfortable. Go use them. Get familiar there. All kinds of others. I use Canva all the time, my favorite, right? Tons of AI capabilities. But with a few more minutes, I'm curious to hear what you guys what advice you have as well.
Yeah, I can go. I personally, when AI first came out, and Brooke, I know you've heard me say this before, I felt like I was that person that I was like, I don't want to get into it. It's too confusing. Like, I felt like I was that, back in my day, we never had AI, so I'm not going to do it. So personally, I found it easier to look for my personal life. I started to find things that could help me just day to day, find recipes, find ideas. I used a chatbot and then I became really comfortable with it. I used it a lot for vacation planning, creating itineraries, and then I saw, what was possible. And then I wanted to use it in my personal life. And for me, I looked at the things, and I think I spoke about this during the session, I looked at the things that took me the longest amount of time and what causes me so many frustrations during the day, and that was my product. I used one product for a little while, I got comfortable with it, and then I started to explore, maybe I could do some video editing, or maybe I could look at this for on-site during our events. So I had to get comfortable with it first before I kind of delved into what was possible.
100%.
That's really interesting, because I did it on the complete flip side. So I didn't do it based on personal. I listened. I fell into marketing completely by accident during a university project. I wanted to be a history teacher, and then during university discovered I loved marketing, and completely was blind. I had no idea what I was doing, and what I discovered was listening to what people were talking about in the office, or if there were webinars that I was attending and there were certain AI platforms that were constantly being brought up, I would then look into that, because in my brain, if people are talking about it, it's worth using, it's worth my time looking into it. And I think by that human element, so actually listening to what people were saying about it and learning through how other people were using it, that's how I then discovered AI and discovered my way of using it through then trial and error. So it's really interesting that you can come from it from a personal standpoint, how it can help in your personal life. I haven't even really got to that yet, so I'm looking forward to trying that.
Yeah, you plan your next holiday using AI. It could work. I mean, for real.
3-day recommendations for an itinerary.
I mean, I'm going to Florida in September. Like, amazing.
Well, I am pretty sure that the three of us could sit here and talk about AI all day, every day. So again, if you guys want to be kind of part of the conversation, continue this conversation with us, hit us up on LinkedIn. We love chatting with you. Plenty, hopefully more content coming out with Cvent. We have that ebook that you guys can look at that gives all kinds of information and specific tools that you can use. But for right now, we're going to wrap up this webinar, and thank you again so much for joining. And I wish you all the best of luck in your AI journey. Thank you, Haley, and thank you, Una.
Thank you.
Thank you.